Now, turning to movie news, Canadian filmmaker David Cronenberg is releasing his latest movie, an adaptation of William S. Burroughs' literary classic, The Naked Lunch. It's already controversial. It hasn't opened in Canada yet, but the U.S. distributor released it in December in the United States, so it could qualify for this year's Oscars. Believe it or not, it has a chance to cop a few major awards, too. So far, the National, the New York, and the Boston Critics Associations have given the film top honors. Global's Rob Davidson has been following Naked Lunch since last spring when he visited the set. He and director David Cronenberg sat down recently to talk about the finished product.
I guess it's about time for our William Tell routine.
Naked Lunch stars Peter Weller and Judy Davis. It uses bits and pieces from the real life of William S. Burroughs, mixed in with chunks of the book Naked Lunch. Ultimately, however, it is David Cronenberg's film.
Yeah, we're going to do so.
Cronenberg was influenced by Burroughs even before he was doing anything that could be influenced.
As time went on, I began to realize that a lot of the imagery that I was using, the viral imagery, the disease imagery, and so on, I'd really first encountered in Burroughs' writing.
Unpublishable.
The publication of Naked Lunch back in the 1950s catapulted William S. Burroughs into a literary notoriety. Here was a book that talked about homosexuality, drugs, various types of debauchery. And Cronenberg maintains it continues to affect our mainstream culture in shows like Saturday Night Live.
The drug humor, the sexual humor, I don't think it would have existed without Burroughs. That sort of stand-up comic routines that he used to do. I could see Danny Aykroyd and John Belushi doing a lot of those routines right from the novel Naked Lunch.
Lee, wake up. This is no time to doze off like a freckled-faced boy on a fishing raft.
What's up?
Like any Cronenberg film, The Naked Lunch has its share of special effects. Cronenberg hired the same team that did the makeup and effects for The Fly to create, among other things, 50 mugwumps, a few leaping sex blobs, some typewriter monsters, and 50 centipedes.
No point in feigning surprise. You knew we would be getting in touch with you.
Yet when he originally sat down to write the script, Cronenberg intended to make a film without rubber creatures.
But when I started to write, the creatures started to pop up left and right, started to talk and yammer, and they would not be silenced. And I just knew they were right. They had a right to be there. I knew I was taking a bit of a risk in having characters who were completely special effects, who had a lot of dialogue, important dialogue that you have to listen to and believe for the film to work.
Why else would you come to a waterfront dive like this?
Why else?
This is all happening telepathically, non-consciously.
What do you mean?
If you look carefully at my lips, you'll realize that I'm actually saying something else.
There's a real hallucinatory quality to Naked Lunch, a quality that parallels the actual book and even Burroughs' life, but it tends to distance the film from the audience.
I don't like movies that really have everybody weeping and wailing and hope that you will join in. I think that's a cheap way to get an emotional response, and I'm insisting on a tough, calculated, cerebral movie that will end up giving you an emotional and a visceral kick.
Rob Davidson, Global News, Toronto.
Hello, Bill. What's up?